Okay, so here's the review that we have. And we are going to look at this. So I have the slope here is 2/3. I have the y-intercept is -4. For this other one, I have my slope as -3 and my y-intercept is 7. So when we talked in this section, we talked about if the slopes are different, then there's one solution and we have to find that one solution. So we know for sure that this one will have a solution. So I go to 0, -4. I plot a point. I go up 2, 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. Up 2 and over 3. Up 2, over 3. Up 2, over 3. Or I could have gone down 2, just making sure that when I do that, ooh, did I do wrong? 1, 2, okay. And it seems, did I not go down 2? I didn't go down 2. See, that's what I mean. You have to make sure that you're going down the actual 2. And there we go. So I drew that line. Now I have to draw the other line. So I go to 0, 7, which is up here. Remember, slope is -3 over 1. So I go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, over 1. Oh, look, they ran into each other. 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So yes, I just need where they run into each other, but I also need to make sure that I draw the line. Okay, I can't just say, oh, I'm done by putting the points. Okay, the solution for this is 3, -2. And you must put what the solution is. That is very, very important. Okay, so I go to my next one. I look at it. Okay, my slope on this first one is -1, and remember that can be over 1. And my other one, and this is 0, 5. So I'm going to go up to 0, 5. Remember, this is negative slope, boys and girls. So I'm going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, like so. And I could have gone up 1 over 1, just making sure that I'm going in the negative direction. And when I draw the line, I make sure that I put arrows on it because it keeps going in both directions. Then this slope is -1/3. Look at that, 2 different slopes. So that means that they are going to run into each other. So I go down to 0, -7, and I put a point, and I'm going to go up 1 and over 3. Up 1 and over 3. Up 1 and over 3. Oh, they ran into each other. And let's see, where did they run into each other? It looks like 9, -4. So that is my solution, 9, -4. Okay, so I come to this one. On this one, the slope here is -4. Remember, it can be over 1. And there's nothing added, so I go through 0, 0. So here's 0, 0. I'm going to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I need negative direction. So that means I'm going to go to the left. Up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. Okay, I'm going to go down 4 and over 1, down 4 and over 1. And making sure that I draw the line and put arrows on both sides. Then my other one, oh, look at that. It's not y equals. So the first thing I have to do is I have to solve for y here. So I'm actually going to take the space that's down at the bottom here, and I'm going to make sure you take the negative on that. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. I'm going to get negative y equals 2x minus 6, because we want it in y equals mx plus b form. I divide by negative 1, and I get y equals negative 2x plus 6, because negative divided by negative is a positive. So up here, the slope is going to be negative 2, and the y-intercept is going to be 6. So I go up to 6. Remember, this is over 1. I can go up to over 1, down to over 1. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's going to run into each other up here somewhere, isn't it? Where it's not on the graph. So up to and over 1. Ooh, might have to, sorry about that. I didn't realize that they weren't going to run into each other on this graph. So up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. Okay, so that they would have run into each other way up there. Okay, so let's see. If I take negative 4x and I set it equal to negative 2x plus 6, I add, I would get negative 2x equals 6, divide by negative 2. Okay, so they're going to meet when x is negative 3. So one right here, right up at this point right here, that's where they would have run into each other. So I needed to make my lines even longer. Actually, Miss Grambois should have just made a bigger graph, is what she should have done. Okay. So let's see. I would have gone up 1, 2, so that would have been 9, 10, 11, 12. So I think it's going to be negative 3 or 12, but let's plug it back in and see. So y equals negative 4 times negative 3. Look at that. It came out to 12. So even though I did a very poor job at picking a graph that works, that is what the intersection should be. Well, hopefully this next one I'll do a better job at. So let's look at this next one. Oh, looky here. I have to do some solving again. So x plus 2y equals 4. I subtract x from both sides. I get 2y equals negative x plus 4. Divide everything by 2. And I get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. So my slope on this is negative 1/2. Oop, I forgot the negative. And 0, 2. So I'm going to go to 0, 2. And it's a negative slope. Make sure you go the negative direction. I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Oops, did I go over 2? Yeah, up 1 over 2, over 2, up 1 over 2, or down 1 over 2. For some reason, these lines are really light. Sorry about that. Over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Okay. So there we have it. We have this line. And then I need the other one. So I'm going to come down to the bottom of the page and do 2x plus y equals negative 1. This one's easy. I just subtract 2x from both sides. I get y equals negative 2x minus 1. So my slope equals negative 2. My y-intercept is 0, negative 1. So I'm going to come up here, 0, negative 1. And I'm going to go up to 1, 2, and over 1. Up to 1, 2, over 1. Look, those run into each other. That was a good graph. So there I have that. Where do they run into each other? It looks like negative 2, 3 is where they run into each other. Awesome. So now I'm going to go to the next page. Okay. Again, we have to solve. Not a big deal. So I have 3x plus 2y equals negative 16. So I subtract 3x from both sides. I get 2y equals negative 3x minus 16. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Y equals negative 3 halves x minus 8. So my slope here is negative 3 over 2. My y-intercept is negative 8. Oops, sorry, you can't see that. Okay, so we're going to go to negative 8. And it's a negative slope, so I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 2. 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 Okay. Awesome. So now, bam. Now I'm going to take the other one. Didn't give myself as much space here, but that's okay. Subtract 2x, negative 3y equals negative 2x minus 15. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. Y equals negative divided by a negative is a positive. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, so that would get me 5. So my slope here is 2/3. My y-intercept is 0, 5. So I'm going to go up to 0, 5, and I'm going to make a point, and 2/3. So up 2 over 1, 2, 3, down 2 over 1, 2, 3, down 2 over 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. They ran into each other. And those look like they're perpendicular lines. This is at negative 6, 1. Awesome. So next, we have to determine whether there's a solution or not. So all it means is you plug in for x and y and see if it comes out to be true. So I'm going to take 2. I'm going to replace the x with 4 minus 3 and replace the y with negative 4 equals 4. So that's 8 plus 12 equals 4. So does 20 equal 4? It sure does not, so it's not a solution. Then I do this one. I replace the x with 1, the y with 3. 1 plus 6, does 7 equal 6? No. So not a solution. Guess I should have picked one that was a solution. Sorry about that. Okay, let's come down here, and we're solving by substitution. Okay, so we're going to solve by substitution here. So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm plugging it in for that x right there. So 6, replace the x with y minus 5, plus y equals negative 9. I get 6y minus 30 plus y equals negative 9. I combine like terms, so that's 7y minus 30 equals negative 9. I add 30 to both sides. I get 7y equals 21. I plug in that 7, I divide by that 7 and get 3. So now I take that 3 and I plug it in. So x equals 3 minus 5, so x equals negative 2. So my answer, my solution, is negative 2, 3. If I plug that in, boys and girls, to check my work, to make sure that I did the right thing, I would take 3, try that again, Kim. I would take negative 2 equals 3 minus 5. Negative 2 equals negative 2. There's the solution. for that one. So let's plug it in here. 6 times negative 2 plus 3, does that equal negative 9? So negative 12 plus 3, does that equal negative 9? It sure does. So I have a solution. Okay, so number 9. This says y equals. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it in for this y right here. So I take 4x minus, and then I replace the y. I need to make sure that I distribute that negative. Remember, it's like having a negative 1 right there. So that would be negative 5x plus 6 equals 9. I combine like terms. I get negative x plus 6 equals 9. Subtract 6 from both sides. Get negative x equals 3. Divide by negative 1 on both sides and get x equals negative 3. Then I take this and I plug it back in. Y equals 5 times negative 3 minus 6. That'll get me negative 15 minus 6. So y equals negative 21. So my solution for this one, negative 3, negative 21. Now, you should really be finding out whether or not you have the correct solution. So let's plug it in. So I have negative 21. Oops, you can't see it. Sorry about that. Equals 5 times negative 3 minus 6. I know I'm trying to fit it into a small little space. Negative 21 equals negative 15 minus 6. Ooh, look at that. That one works. So that one works. Now we have to see if it works in the other one. 4 times negative 3 minus a negative 21. Be careful on that. So that'll give me negative 12 plus 21 equals 9. Look at that. It works. Perfect. Okay. So this next one, I know I didn't leave a lot of space. Sorry about that. Plug it in there. So I have 2y minus, parenthesis, negative 3x plus 5 equals 10. So 2x, remember I need to distribute that negative. So 3x minus 5 equals 10. So 5x minus 5 equals 10. I add 5 to both sides of the equal sign. 5x equals 15. Divide by 5 and get x equals 3. Then I plug that back in. I'm going to plug it into the first one. It's easier. So I get negative 9 plus 5. So I get negative 4. So my solution to this would be 3, negative 4. And I don't have a lot of space to check this, so I'm going to kind of do this and say negative 4 equals negative 3 times 3 plus 5. So it's negative 4 equals negative 9 plus 5. Negative 4 equals negative 4. Excellent. It worked for that one. 2 times 3 minus a negative 4 equals 10. I know there you can't really see it, but this is a negative attached to it. So that would be plus 4 equals 10. So 10 equals 10. So it worked. Awesome. This next one says x equals and x equals. All you do is take this part right here and plug it in right there. You're taking them both and set them equal to each other. So negative 3y plus 22 equals 2y minus 8. We just took what x equals and set them equal to each other. So I'm going to add 3y to both sides and get 22 equals 5y minus 8. I'm going to add 8 to both sides of the equal sign and get 30 is equal to 5y. Divide by 5 and get 6 is equal to y. Really don't have a lot of room. So I'm going to plug it into the second one. So x equals 2 times 6 minus 8. So x equals 12 minus 8, so x equals 4. So right here I have 4, 6. And to check my work, as usual, I'm not going to use that color. Let's try this one. So 4 equals negative 3 times 6 plus 22. So 4 equals negative 18 plus 22. So 4 equals 4. Perfect. Then I plug it into the other one. 4 equals 2 times 6 minus 8. So I get 4 equals 12 minus 8. So 4 equals 4. Beautiful. That is the solution. So number 12. I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to plug it in for that y. Now, 5x minus 3 times negative 2x plus 7 equals 23. 5x plus 6, because it's negative times negative, 6x. Negative 3 times 7, negative 21. So this will get me 11x minus 21 equals 23. I add 21 to both sides of the equal sign. I get 11x equals 44. Divide by 11 and get x equals 4. Then I take that and I'm going to plug it back into the second equation because it's easier. Y equals negative 2 times 4 plus 7. I get negative 8 plus 7, so y equals negative 1. And your answer to this would be the point for negative 1. Then we check and make sure our answer is correct. I take 5 and I multiply it by 4. Minus 3 times negative 1, does that equal 23? Oops, that was a horrible looking 3. I don't know what I was doing. So 20 plus 3 equals 23. Oh, look at that. 23 equals 23. Beautiful. Then I do my other one, where negative 1 equals negative 2 times 4 plus 7. So negative 1 equals negative 8 plus 7. So negative 1 equals negative 1. That works. So it is a solution. This one says the graph of the systems is right here. Oops, let me do this. Okay, let's look at the slopes. So we're going to look at the slopes real quick. I'm going to look at those. Those slopes are the same. The y-intercepts, so we're going to look at this number right here. They are different. What's the solution? Did they ever run into each other? So the answer is no solution. It is not the word none. It is not the word no. It is no solution. This next one, I look at this one right here. They're sitting on top of each other. I look at the slopes. The number sitting in front of x, that's invisible. Sitting in front of x, invisible. They're exactly the same. The y-intercepts, this says negative 1, this has negative 1. They're exactly the same. This, the answer is infinite solutions. Now, you may put infinitely many solutions, that's fine, but you may not put infinity. If you put infinity for your answer, it is incorrect. Okay, your answer is not infinity. You may not put infinity as your answer. Okay, so let's look at this next one. Let's look at the slopes on this one. There's an invisible 1. There's a 3. They are different. Let's look at the y-intercepts. Negative 3, negative 3. They're the same. Actually, on this one, they're the same. They don't always have to be the same. What is the solution? The solution is the number or the point that they run into each other, and that's at 0, negative 3. Okay, yes, there is one solution, but you actually have to give what that one solution is. So down here, I'm going to go in the column and do this. So the slopes are different. The only one up above that we talked about that has different slopes is one solution. Okay, we look here. They have the same slope but different y-intercepts, so that means that there's no solution. Right here, it's a line on top of a line, so this is infinite solutions. Let's look here. The slopes are the same, y-intercepts are different. That means that there's no solution. These are the exact same equations. The slopes are the same, the y-intercept's the same, so this is infinite solutions. Now, because this part is actually just asking you how many solutions it is, we don't actually have to put what the solution is, but they do run into each other, so there is one solution. The slopes are the same, the y-intercepts are the same. That means this is infinite solutions. This one, the slopes are different. That means there is one solution. I look at this, they never run into each other, no solution. A fundraiser for a band trip. The band plans to sell hats that feature the school logo. The company producing the hats will charge $240 to design and a setup fee that costs $8 per hat. That's the production cost. So that's going to be y equals 8x plus the setup fee of $240. Okay. The band has decided to sell the hats, so that's the income, that's how much you're getting, so that would be 12x. So we're going to complete this table. So here we go. This is y equals 8x plus 240. This is 12x. And then we're going to take the 12x and we're going to subtract the 8x plus 24. Okay, so if I plugged in 0, I'd get, that's 240, not 240. So if I plugged in, the 8 times 20 is 160 plus 240, 400. And then 8 times 40 is going to be 320 plus 240. So that's going to be 560. Then 5 times 8 will be 400 plus 240. So that's be 640. This would be 480 plus 240. And that's 720. This is 560 plus 240, and I do know how to add. That's 800. Oops, that's a 0. That's 640 plus 240, 880. Now, if I did 12, so that's going to be 0. That's going to be 240. That's going to be 480. This is going to be 600, 720, 840, and 960. So if I took these and I subtracted this, this would get negative 240. 240 minus 400 would get me negative 160. 480 minus 560 would get negative 80. 600 minus 640. Ooh, look at this, 0. This would get positive, and then 960 minus 880 would get us 80. So what's the break-even point? It's when you have a profit of 0. So the break-even point is at 60,720. If you were to graph the equations for the production and cost, what would be their intersection point? That would be the 60,720. And make sure that when you write the intersection that you actually write it as a point. And the break-even point, you need to write it as a point, as an ordered pair.